What is up, people, and welcome back to part 54 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the German Grand Prix. We've come a long way in this career mode, and if you have missed Season 1, Season 2, and the first 11 rounds of this third season, then you can check them all out in the card annotation in the top right corner of your screens. Last time around at the Hungarian Grand Prix, it was a really disappointing race for us. We really struggled there. We had a really good qualifying session in the wet. We managed to get up to P3 or P4 in qualifying, so that was amazing. But then unfortunately in the race we just started going backwards. We weren't exactly too competitive in the dry. I think it's just because we were lacking downforce in the Force India that we were in. So we really lacked in that in terms of performance there, and then it just got a lot worse with driving around with the AI. I got hit by Esteban Gutierrez, and then Daniel Ricciardo just completely wiped me out in, I think it was just before Sector 3, that corner, the fast right-hander, and lost my tyre, went into the barrier, lost my other tyre, and that was me out of that race. So my first DNF of the season came at the Hungarian Grand Prix. It was a really disappointing result for us, but we are looking to bounce back here at the German Grand Prix. Hopefully, we can do that, but before we get into the episode, Chris has a little bit of news for us, so let's see what he has to say.
Hey, our upgrade pace is looking solid right now, but I do think we need to push harder if we want to stay competitive. Here's the report.
So it looks like some of the other teams are doing a lot better than we are in terms of performance. That definitely shows in Toro Rosso right now. They are absolutely killing the performance comparison right now. Renault aren't too far ahead of us, but it looks like Mercedes have done a couple of upgrades to close up the gap. There we go. So Mercedes have reduced the chassis weight of their cars to close up the gap to us. We're not too far away from Renault right now, and one upgrade will either take us level or above them. So we're looking forward to hopefully doing that within either this episode or the next one. Mercedes have closed up the gap, but it's not enough to overtake us. And let's see if that upgrade does anything to their cars. We head into the practice report. Here we are then in the practice session for the German Grand Prix, round 12 of the season here at the Hockenheimring. And unfortunately it's raining out on track, so that is something that we do have to take into consideration. Just get used to the wet weather, because you never know, it could be raining in the race or the qualifying sessions. But we did the track acclimatization. We got a purple score in that one, and that really is going to help us in terms of getting the resource points and upgrading the car in the future to hopefully be very quick down the straights in Belgium and Italy, because we want to upgrade the engine power next to try and maximize our straight line speed. But here we are in the second practice session doing the tyre wear management. Unfortunately, we've got a few reds, and that was only good enough to get a green score in the track acclimatization, which was really, really unfortunate, and being down 22nd in the practice 2 results is very shocking as well. But then we head out in FP3 on the wet tyres. It's absolutely chucking it down out on track, but that didn't matter too much as we come down towards the line, and it is good enough for the purple score in the qualifying objective. Absolutely smashing that one, getting the purple score, and that is a lovely load of resource points heading to the bank, ready for the end of this race and the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Down in 19th position as well, as it did dry out throughout the session, so a lot of the other boys setting their lap time on the intermediate tyres. So 19th position, it doesn't really represent how the qualifying session will actually go. So without any further ado, let's see how that session does actually go as we head into qualifying. Right then, qualifying for the German Grand Prix, and we'll be looking to get out of Q1 and into Q2, and then hopefully get into Q3 as well and battle for pole position. Here we are around the final corner, down towards the line for our first lap in this qualifying session on the soft tyres, so trying to get through into Q2 on the slower tyre. Looks like it may be good enough at the moment. P6 right now, 115.3, and second lap down into 9th position. Haven't lost too much ground, but we have gained 4/10 of a second on this lap. Coming across the line, that puts us up into second, just shy of our teammate by 2/10 of a second, which is really, really promising going into the rest of the qualifying sessions, and hopefully that will be good enough to get us into Q2. And it is 13th position ahead of the rest of the guys. Jenson Button, unfortunately, getting knocked out there, but we are into Q2, and that is all that matters. On the super soft tyres, going out for one lap right now to see what we can do. Coming across the line is good enough for the fastest lap in the qualifying session of 114.338, and hopefully, yes it is, that's good enough to get us into Q3, into the top 10 shootout. And can we get pole position with P4 in Q2? But we only did one lap in that qualifying session. Here we are doing our first lap in Q3. The lap time is good enough for a 114.4. We do know we can improve on that lap time by about 1/10 of a second. So hopefully we can do that later on in the session. Currently in P5 right now, just behind Kevin Magnussen, coming through the final corner once again, down towards the line. There's going to be a little bit of an improvement by about 0.04 of a second. And that is only good enough to hold us in 5th position as we get a little warning for exceeding track limits. We kind of cut the corner quite a lot there at turn 1. But coming around the final corner once again, down towards the line. Is this lap time going to be an improvement? Yes, it is, by 1/10 of a second, and that's good enough to take us up into 4th position, just behind our teammate Nico Hulkenberg, who is currently in 3rd, but it wasn't good enough to beat Nico Hulkenberg. Lewis Hamilton moves above us into 3rd place. We drop down into 5th, but all in all, a very good qualifying session today at the German Grand Prix. In the top 5, and very close battle between Lewis Hamilton, Nico Hulkenberg, and Kevin Magnussen as well. Us 4 drivers separated by about just over 1/10 of a second, maybe about 2/10 of a second. So very close between the 4 of us, and that's going to be an exciting battle that we're going to look forward to in the race. Also, you've got the 2 Toro Rossos not too far ahead of us, only by about 4/10 of a second. So they're not exactly too far, but we would certainly like to close up that gap in the future. So hopefully we can do that. But the aim of the race is going to be to beat Carlos Sainz. We need to make sure that we close up the championship gap against him. Can we do that? Let's find out as we head over to the race for the German Grand Prix. It's race day here at the Hockenheimring for round 12 of this season 3 of my career mode, and hopefully we can get a fantastic result here today to push us up the standings and try and close up the gap to Carlos Sainz. We lost a lot of points last time around at the Hungarian Grand Prix after getting that DNF, losing 25 points and increasing the championship lead that he has over us to 57 points, which is really disappointing. Here is confirmation there in the bottom right hand corner, 188 points. That's the points Carlos Sainz is on at the moment. We're on 141, so there is a huge gap between 2 of us right now. Toro Rosso also got a huge gap over us with Sahara Force India in 2nd, not too far ahead of Mercedes, so we need to try and maintain that gap over those guys. Carlos Sainz, unfortunately, lining up in pole position, so we do have that to deal with. But if we can get a good start down in towards turn 1, turn 2, and possibly all the way down to the hairpin as well, then we can certainly get him in the race. But starting down in P5, looking at the race strategy for today's race. So they want us to start on the super softs, go onto the mediums, and then onto the softs. But we know from the 2 previous seasons that tyre wear is a big struggle at this circuit. AI tyre wear is fine. They seem to be fine on the tyres, but I really struggle with the tyres around this track. So if worse comes to worse, I'm going to keep in mind the pit stops that they want me to go for on the free stop strategy, and if we have to, we will go for that one, because, you know, we may not be able to last till the end of the race on the tyre saving strategy. But here we are, getting away for the formation lap. And starting down in P5, we need to get past Nico Hulkenberg at the start, past Lewis Hamilton, and hopefully try and battle with the 2 Mercedes drivers as well. So we're going to go round the track, warm up the tyres, warm up the brakes, and head back to the starting grid. Here we are then on the starting grid for today's German Grand Prix. It's round 12 of this season 3. It's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for today's race. It's not the best of the starts. Looks like Kevin Magnussen has got the better run down in towards turn 1. He has the inside line as well, so we have to sort of concede the position to him. But the front 4 are kind of scrapping away, so we might be able to pick a couple of places down in towards turn 2, which we do up into P3 as well. So great opportunistic move to go up the inside of all those drivers, and a great power slide through turn 3 as well. Lovely to see through that corner. Looks like Carlos Sainz has lost out to Lewis Hamilton. Has he going down into the hairpin? Yes, he has. And it's side by side at the moment between those 2. No, it's Danny Kvyat. So we got the jump on Carlos Sainz. We're already above our championship rival, which is absolutely fantastic at this stage of the race. Kvyat and Lewis Hamilton going side by side right now. We might have a little look up the inside, cutting the corner a little bit, getting squeezed out by Lewis Hamilton around the outside into this left hand, and have to give up on going for that 2nd place right now. But if those 2 can battle it out, we go wide through the right-hander, and that has allowed Carlos Sainz to get an easy position back up into P3. May have a little look around the outside and maybe down the inside into this hairpin. We can have a little dive bomb move up the inside of Carlos Sainz, go very deep into the corner. He gets the switchback move on us, but looks like we've held on to position through that corner. Dipping a wheel onto the gravel though, that's just opening the door for Carlos Sainz. What are we doing right now? We're getting really frustrated behind the wheel, losing the back all over the place, running it wide through the final corner. We need to hook down the car and make sure there's no more mistakes, and now we run it wide once again, going through the DRS sign there, allowing Nico Hulkenberg to have a little run on us down towards turn 2. But I think we might have sorted that all out now, which we have coming towards lap 3. And it looks like the 2 Toro Rossos going side by side, a little bit of a tyre bang between the 2 of them, and that's really gonna help me down in towards the hairpin. It's a good long run down to this corner, following in the slipstream, using the DRS, pulling over to the right-hand side. Can we make it 3 wide? No, we've got the position before we've even got there. Both of them having a little go down in towards the hairpin. They're still going side by side, but the most important thing is we have got P2 away from our championship rival and the other Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat. If Nico Hulkenberg can get involved and also Kevin Magnussen, then this should be a very juicy battle for P2 as well. But Carlos Sainz has got to run us down in towards the hairpin. It's side by side at the moment, going down in towards this corner. Who's going to come out on top of the two of us? Carlos Sainz goes up the inside. We break a little bit earlier, gets the little switchback move on him, and that is a lovely overtake on Carlos Sainz, moving back up into P2, and Carlos Sainz getting a little bit swamped there. We have a little opportunity to change our strategy. We're going to change it for now. We're going to go on to the medium because I don't think the tyres are going to last. So we're going to come into the pits on lap 4 for a new set of medium tyres, and then try and get those medium tyres as long as we possibly can, and then go on to another set of mediums till the end of the race. But it looks like it was a good call to come into the pits, because a lot of other drivers are doing the exact same thing, including my teammate of Nico Hulkenberg. Daniel Ricciardo, I believe, is the driver in the Red Bull that unfortunately got held up because Nico Hulkenberg, I need to get my drivers right there, Nico Hulkenberg was holding up Daniel Ricciardo there. So a little bit unfortunate for the Red Bull driver, but we don't really care too much about them right now because we're not in a championship battle with those guys. It was unfortunate though to hold up my teammate of Nico Hulkenberg. That was really annoying, but we are under pressure from Danny Kvyat here on lap 5. We run it wide through the final corner once again, and Danny Kvyat goes up the inside, down in towards turn 1. We break a little bit early, get the power down very early through turn 1, got the inside of Danny Kvyat and get the position back before we've even got into turn 2. So a lovely overtake down in towards turn 2 on the Toro Rosso driver, but he's having a little pop on us once again down in towards the hairpin, following the slipstream, using the DRS, pulling over to the left-hand side, so he's going to get the outside line in towards the hairpin. We're going to have to dive in, hold the inside line down in towards this corner. Can we do so? Squeezing on the apex and squeeze him out as much as we possibly can, but we tuck it in front of him. We get that 12th position away from him, and we are holding on to this position right now, which we need to do because those guys are on the super soft tyres, so they're going to be so much quicker than me right now. But here we are on lap 7 as Sauber gets out of the way. Felipe Nasr, who went for a little bit of a different strategy, and looks like Danny Kvyat is going on the attack once again down in towards turn 1. He has the inside line, so I'm going to brake early, get the power down. Unfortunately, I get held up by Danny Kvyat through there, so he does a different line, holding me up through turn 1. But can we have a look up the inside of turn 2? No, we can't, but we may get a run on him down in towards turn 3. Not turn 3, in towards the hairpin of turn 4. So hopefully we can do that using the DRS and using the slipstream, following behind the Toro Rosso right now. Have we got enough straight line speed to get him into the hairpin? Yes, we have. Up the inside, down into the hairpin, side by side with Danny Kvyat so far, holding the inside line. Could he possibly try a switchback move on us? No, he can't. And we hold on to P6 for the time being, which is absolutely fantastic. Danny Kvyat still very much on the back of me right now, so we need to make sure that we still keep doing what we're doing and defend from him as much as possible. But it looks like Nico Rosberg has joined onto the back of this battle. But Danny Kvyat once again going for another overtake on the inside this time around. Are we going to perform a switchback move on the Toro Rosso driver? It's side by side at the moment. We break a little bit earlier, and unfortunately it's just not enough to get the switchback move on Danny Kvyat. We turn into his car. His car is stuck there on the apex, and unfortunately he has got P6 away from us. But we need to try and stay as close to the rear of him as we possibly can. Stick to the gearbox of that Toro Rosso driver and try and get the position back. But unfortunately a mistake through that fast right-hander gives him the position, and we have unfortunately lost Danny Kvyat. But here we are on lap 12 right now, under pressure from the Renault of Kevin Magnussen. What can he do down into the hairpin? Going to the right-hand side. Looks like Felipe Massa also wants to get involved in this battle. Going down into the hairpin. It's 3 wide right now. I think the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen is just joining this battle as well. Yes, he is. It's a 4-way battle down into the hairpin. We hold it around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. It's side by side still. Can we possibly go around the outside in towards this right hand? It's going to be close. We get the move up the inside. Can we do it under braking side by side with Valtteri Bottas? But just about getting the position from the Williams driver and holding on to P6 for the time being. It's very close between us guys, and it's going to go really close all the way to the end. And here we are on lap 13 once again. Valtteri Bottas right on my tail. I lost the back end just a little bit through those corners. I run it wide through the penultimate couple of corners. Kimi Räikkönen, He comes into the pits as he feels like his super soft tyres have worn out. Valtteri Bottas having a run down at the inside in towards turn 1. We brake early, get the power down, get the inside line, down in towards turn 2, side by side, but he's on a grippier set of tyres, so that's going to really help him. Kevin Magnussen getting caught up behind the Williams of Valtteri Bottas. Unfortunately, that gives him position for the time being, but we will have the DRS, we will have the slipstream on the Williams driver, but will it be enough? We know that Williams is very quick in a straight line, so it could be a struggle to possibly get the overtake on him. Kevin Magnussen decides not to go for an overtake on us. Could we go up the inside of Valtteri Bottas? Very late on the brakes, we lock up, but we do manage to get the car turned in time. We squeeze out Valtteri Bottas as much as we can, but we give him enough room to stay half of his car on the track, and that's good enough to hold position and hold this P6 for the time being. We're doing very well in this race right now, but we are still under pressure from all these guys. We're building quite a bit of a trade being on these medium tyres. Unfortunately, that is going to hurt us quite a lot in this race. We're under pressure once again from Kevin Magnussen. I think Valtteri Bottas is going to have a go as well, which he does to the left-hand side. Again, sandwich. Could we go down the middle of both of these guys? Under braking, locking up massively, going very deep into the corner, squeezing out the Williams driver, but ultimately getting the position on the Renault. It's still side by side though as we go through the right-hander. Kevin Magnussen holding it on the inside, but luckily given, no he's not, he's gone round the outside in towards his left-hander. Great racing between the two of us, but we hold on to position and we hold on to this P4. Jolyon Palmer has done an amazing strategy call to get up into P3. He's doing fantastically in this race with Carlos Sainz unfortunately leading the way, and Lewis Hamilton I think is in second. But here we are on the start of lap 16. Kevin Magnussen going up the inside. We're going to brake early, do what we usually do, get the power down, get the inside line down in towards turn 1, turn 2. Can we get the inside line in towards turn 2? No! We've been hit from behind. We've had a collision with Valtteri Bottas, losing our front wing, pushing us into the wall. We're not out of the race. The race is not over yet, but this has really harmed our race. We were battling for what could have been fourth, could have been a podium as well, depending on strategy, but that is all gone away. As unfortunately we have had a collision with the Williams of Valtteri Bottas. We will need to have a look at that and see exactly what happened, whether we actually moved out in front of him, but that is really, really unfortunate at this stage of this German Grand Prix to be taken out so late in the game. But you know, we had the same sort of thing in Malaysia and then we came back to win the race. So something like that could happen here today. But let's have a look at a replay. So Kevin Magnussen, he goes up the inside. We brake early. Then we get a side-by-side run down in towards turn 2. And it looks like we just get turned into by Valtteri Bottas, who then goes into my teammate as well. If one Force India wasn't good enough, he decides to try and take out the other one. But let's get a proper view though. Let's actually make a proper decision. What did Valtteri Bottas do down in towards turn 2? Yes, he just moved into me, moved over to the right, realised that there may have not been enough room there, and then cuts back to the left, going into the side of my car and putting me into a spin. And that is completely his fault there, ruining my whole entire race. Everything that I'd done up until that stage is completely ruined and completely worthless thanks to Valtteri Bottas. But if a safety car could come out something like that, then certainly we could possibly get back into this race. We're looking on board in lap 17. I'm not too sure what's going on here. A lot of cars bunching up behind one Williams driver is Felipe Massa. Has he got a puncher? I haven't actually spotted. He may have got a puncher. Yes, I think he has on the right. Has he got a punch? He's stopping on the middle of the apex. Yes, he does. He's got a puncher on his rear right. That's holding everybody up. That could really help us as we're going to be struggling on this lap, going into the pits and getting a new front wing. So that could really help us catch up to a few drivers and also get the position on the Williams of Felipe Massa. But here we are on the end of lap 16, coming into the pits very miserably as well. But it does mean that we can do another 2 stops in this race. We're going to go for the softs. And then the softs once again. We could have probably gone to the mediums, try and taken them to the end, but I don't think that would have been wise. So I think it's better to go onto this set of soft tyres, get a new front wing obviously, and then get another set of soft tyres later on in the race. And just try and get back up the field and maybe pick up a 10th position here or there and get to 1 point. But I think it's going to be very, very difficult to do here today. And unfortunately, that is not Danny Kvyat racing for position. That is Carlos Sainz overtaking us and lapping us in this German Grand Prix, which is really disappointing to be battling with him at the start of the race, to be now, well, right down at the back of the field getting lapped in this German Grand Prix on lap 17. Really, really disappointing. And all thanks to Valtteri Bottas taking me out in this German Grand Prix, as Sebastian Vettel has got an engine failure on lap 18 of the German Grand Prix. So much happening within 2 laps of this race. We crashed on lap 16. Sebastian Vettel now having an engine failure. Felipe Massa having that puncture, and that's gained us another position in this race. But here we are on lap 26 right now, coming into the pits for another set of soft tyres. There is the Williams of Felipe Massa. I think Felipe Nasr also getting past, and Valtteri Bottas should probably get past as well. So we're going to go on to another set of soft tyres and run these all the way to the end. But those guys will still have to make one more pit stop in the race, so hopefully we do get past them by the end. But exiting the pit lane, that is Lewis Hamilton on the left hand side. Valtteri Bottas is in the distance, so he hasn't got past us, but that's Lewis Hamilton unfortunately lapping us once again. So we've dropped down into position. Now we are quicker than Lewis Hamilton at this stage, so we could go for the overtake on the Mercedes driver, but for now we decide against it, mainly because there's not really too much point. We'll stay behind him and try and catch up to a few guys. But then at this stage, I was kind of like, you know, it's taken a while. I need to get past him. I have got a good chance of maybe catching up to Felipe Nasr and maybe possibly getting a few other drivers as well. So I get past him there, run it a little bit too deep into the hairpin, keeping Lewis Hamilton right behind me as Nico Hülkenberg comes into the pits on lap 28. And there is Felipe Nasr just ahead of us on our screen. So we do have a good chance to catch up to the Sauber driver and hopefully overtake him on lap 29. Here we are right now. We're still getting blue flagged right now by Lewis Hamilton, but if we do get past Felipe Nasr, he holds up Lewis Hamilton, then we can get away from the Mercedes driver. The blue flags have gone right now because we are quicker than him. Going up the inside on Felipe Nasr, and it's a fairly easy move. I was hoping that this would be a battle for maybe the lead or something like that, but unfortunately it's only a battle for 19th position. It's not really like anything really matters, especially with the laps left to go. I don't think we're going to be gaining too many positions, but a safety car could still come out and we could still gain quite a lot of positions in this race. But the blue flag is unfortunately out, so we may have to give the position back to Lewis Hamilton as Felipe Nasr lets him through on this right hand. That could be a dangerous place to let him through, but both drivers get through cleanly, and Lewis Hamilton is now going to be on the back of myself. So I think it's probably a good decision to let through the Mercedes driver, which I do right here, running it a little bit too deep into the corner on purpose. To be fair, I didn't actually make a mistake. That one was actually on purpose, to let through the Mercedes driver and sort of do the same strategy. Tuck up right behind him, stay as close behind him as I possibly can, and just get easy overtakes at the end of the race. And here we are, lap 33. Because we are one lap down, this means that this is the final lap of the race. We can see Marcus Ericsson just a few car lengths ahead of us in this German Grand Prix. Unfortunately, Carlos Sainz is going to be today's race winner, gaining 25 points once again on us, and it looks like he is certainly on his way to win his first ever World Championship. But don't write us off just yet. We've got a lot of upgrades to do on the car. We're going to come home in a very disappointing ninth position, but we'll be looking to bounce back within the next couple of races. So P19 in today's race, a really disappointing result, but it's not the end of the world. We still have a long way left to go in the season. Unfortunately, Carlos Sainz is today's race winner, so well done to him getting the 25 points, but really disappointing on us. Fernando Alonso finishing in 6th place, so a good result for the McLaren driver. McLaren really starting to come back in this season, which is good to see. And it's good to see Jolyon Palmer as well on the podium. Renault have struggled in recent weeks, and it's good to see them getting back up there, especially with them being my former team and doing so much for them. So it's good to see that they are back on the podium with a P3 for Jolyon Palmer. But here is the finish classification for today's German Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz, he wins today's race with Lewis Hamilton finishing in 2nd and Jolyon Palmer coming home in 3rd. Danny Kvyat in the other Toro Rosso dropping down from 2nd to 4th. Not the best of races for him, but I'm sure he will bounce back in the championship and hopefully challenge Carlos Sainz as well. Kevin Magnussen, he finishes in 5th with Fernando Alonso in 6th. Kimi Raikkonen 7th. Daniel Ricciardo in 8th with Max Verstappen finishing in 9th from starting in 21st position. So I'm pretty sure that he got Anthony Davidson's driver of the day, Roman Grosjean finishing in 10th. Looking further down the field, and Nico Hülkenberg unfortunately not finishing in the points as well. It's a bad day for Force India at Nico Hülkenberg's home Grand Prix, our engine suppliers home Grand Prix, so not the best of results here today. Any other surprise results? Nico Rosberg down in 15th, not the best of days for him. Sebastian Vettel getting DNF'd, and there we are, down in a very lackluster 19th position in today's race. All mainly because of Valtteri Bottas going into the back of us. Right then, let's unfortunately have a look and see how this affects us in the Drivers' Championship. I don't think it's going to look pretty though. And no, it's not. It definitely does not look pretty at this stage of the season. 72 points is the gap that Carlos Sainz has over us right now. I'm pretty sure I did not have that big of a lead last season when I was absolutely dominating in that Renault. So that just goes to show how dominant the Toro Rosso is in this season. We need to catch them up in terms of research and development, which hopefully we can do at the end of this episode. If not, we're going to have to do it at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. But Danny Kvyat in third position. He's now a couple of points behind us. So I think it's 19 points. He is behind us. So we need to be aware of the Toro Rosso driver trying to overtake us in the championship. In the Constructors standings, we've lost a little bit of ground to Toro Rosso as well. 152 points is the gap. And if you think back to 2 or 3 races ago, it was like 82 points. So they have absolutely demolished us over this midway stage of the season, extending that lead by 70 points in the championship, which is absolutely phenomenal for Toro Rosso right now. They are doing such a good job in this season, but we need to stop that. We need to make sure that we do these upgrades. Myself and Nico Hulkenberg need to catch up to Toro Rosso and try and get the Constructors World Championship. But that is it for today's race. Let's head back to the menus. Taking a look at the rivalry update after today's German Grand Prix, and I'm pretty sure it's obvious how well that Carlos Sainz did in today's race, extending his lead over us to 14-6. So very disappointing right now in the rivalry battle between the two of us. But looking at the resource points, 1,204 resource points is what we have to spend, which is unfortunately not enough to do the engine power upgrade that we really want to do before the Belgian, which is really going to help, and of course the Italian Grand Prix, which is definitely going to help in that circuit. So I think we'll still go for the engine power one after the Belgian Grand Prix, because it's just going to help us so much in the Italian Grand Prix. We're going to be so quick down the straights that it's definitely going to be worth it. And then after Italy, either cease research and development, because we will be driving for Force India next season, or we go for the downforce and then cease research and development. But I think I'm probably going to cease it after the Singapore at the Singapore Grand Prix, because, you know, unless we're definitely in the championship battle, I don't think there's much point in upgrading the car too much more. But leave a comment down below. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should cease research and development and build it up for next season, or do you think I should try and go for this championship as well? Obviously, I'm still going to go for it and still going to try and do my best, but in terms of performance and try and make the car as best it possibly can to help me to do that, do you think that I should cease research and development, or do you think I should carry on upgrading the car? But that is it for today's German Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. Check out all my social networks as well. They're all down in the description. My Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And I'll see you next time at one of my favourite Grand Prix on the whole entire F1 calendar, the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. But until then, it's goodbye from me.